has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey everybody, Big Dog here. If you could be so kind as to give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're liking the content. Also, if you're looking to interact with me a little more, there's a link in the description box below of every video that I do. It's a link to all my social media accounts, Twitter, Twitch, my Discord server, TikTok, all that good stuff, if you want to interact with me a little more. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Now, what do you say we get on with the show, huh? What's up, everybody? It is your man, Big Dog here. Welcome to episode 207 of the Dog House. That's right, we are at episode 207. I've got a quick announcement to make. I made this announcement yesterday when I was recording Inner Thoughts, but I'm gonna make it again. Next Friday, I am leaving for vacation. Yes, I'm taking another vacation. I'm taking a vacation with my family. We're going to the Bahamas in Florida. Little birthday trip for my 29th. Yeah, that's right. Oh, for fuck's sake. I gotta turn my phone on vibrate. What was I saying? Oh, yes, your man is turning 29. I'm one step closer to 30. It's kind of I appreciate that, man. I really do. So before I go, I will be recording Doghouse for you guys and uploading it beforehand, so you guys have something to watch while I'm gone. And also, I'll be trying to do a video on our good buddies at Fresh and Fit are apparently pissing off some people with their comments about the late Kevin Samuels. I won't spoil it. I'll save it for the video. Anyway, let us get on to the first topic of the night, which is all the rumors surrounding Kathleen Kennedy's exit from Lucasfilm and the whole Star Wars debacle.
What did he say?
Now, if you don't know, Kathleen Kennedy is currently the president and CEO of Lucasfilm, and under her tenure, a lot of people have been excuse me. A lot of people have been accusing Disney Star Wars of kind of being quote unquote woke. I feel like that term has kind of lost its staying power, in my opinion, and I can kind of understand why people aren't happy. I've seen Last Jedi and Force Awakens. Force Awakens wasn't horrible. Last Jedi, not my favorite, let's just say. I don't think they did Luke that much justice. I think if it was written differently, it wouldn't be as bad, but I'm not going to get into all that. Anyway, let's get into this article. It's titled Star Wars Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy Breaks Silence on Retirement, Addresses Backlash to Unmade Movies. Yeah, that's another thing that Disney's been really getting in hot water with, is all the Last Jedi, like 7 years ago or something? Yeah, I think so. What was it, 20? No, it was actually, technically it was 10 years ago. No, it wasn't 10 years ago. I think your math might be right. But anyway, let's get into the article. Okay, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy has broken her silence on rumors she intends to step down from her executive role and responds to the continued backlash to all those unmade Star Wars movies. Excuse me. This week, rumors began swirling that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy is gearing up to step down from her executive role. The news has been met with relief from Star Wars fans who have lost faith in Kennedy's vision for the franchise, understandably. All the while, speculation about a successor has run rampant. Deadline has interviewed Kennedy and confirmed that while she does intend to eventually relinquish her position, it's still relatively early in the succession process. It's been said that an announcement could be made as soon as this April's Star Wars celebration in Japan. I've never been to Japan. I gotta go. Kennedy, however, said, "The truth is, and I want to say this loud and clear, I am not retiring." Aw. "I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies."
Fuck.
Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch. That is the first thing that's important to say. I am not retiring. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. We had an amazing bench of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. We are in lockstep as to what that's going to be, and I am continuing. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, go blue sheets. Jesus. Die making movies is quite the fake commitment. Yeah, I agree. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm producing the Mandalorian movie right now. They're doing a Mandalorian movie? Why? Whatever. And I'm also producing Sean Levy's movie, which is after that. Okay. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm and looking very thoroughly with Bob and Alan as to who's stepping in. She continued. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make that announcement when we want to make it. Okay. That doesn't sound overly different from what's been reported this week, especially as Kennedy is actively searching for her replacement and acknowledges one could be found within months. The word retirement may be the biggest point of contention, regardless of how soon we learn who will be next to call the shots at Lucasfilm. It seems she intends to remain actively involved with the franchise for the foreseeable future. And just a bunch of nothing, blah, 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 blah. All right, so what do I think about this? Honestly, being this guy. Yeah, I think that's an ad for another article, which we're not going to touch. Anyway, doesn't it already? Yes, it does have 3 seasons. For my opinions on this, I've kind of given up on Star Wars as a franchise. Like I said, after The Last Jedi, I had a really rotten taste in my mouth. And then The Mandalorian came out. My uncle begged me to watch it. I watched it, and I was like, this ain't all that bad. Then season 2 came. Season 2 was also not all that bad. And then I got through like a couple episodes of season 3, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. You know, the funny thing is, this is what happens with me all the time. I start something, and then like either halfway through or not even a quarter of the way through, I get bored, and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. This is boring. Anyway, do I think this is a good thing? I don't know. This is a wait and see kind of thing. Uni's locked in on movies. Yeah. Honestly, this could be a good thing, her stepping away. It might not be. I don't know. Quite frankly, I could care less at this point. Let's see what happens. But what do I know? Anyway, let's move on to something a little more, unfortunately, I have to say, heartbreaking. Now, for those of you who don't know, the gaming industry is not particularly unknown for not only shutting down gaming companies, they also put people through. They put companies through hell, and they, especially bigger gaming companies like Warner Brothers, for example, are known for shutting down projects and shutting down studios. Now, I'm glad you asked that, Blast, because I'm about to get to that right now. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers has put the axe to Monolith Productions, which means that they are canceling their Wonder Woman game and they're locking the Nemesis system behind a patent for until 2036.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You guys know that Warner Brothers has a nickname? You want to know what the nickname for WB is? The world's dumbest company. And this is why. I don't know why this was done. I really can't wrap my head around it. And I know you guys are probably just as fucking confused, but it does make sense. Anyway, let's get into this article by Kotaku, of all places. Ugh. Yee. I know all you gamers watching heard that name and had a chill up your spine. I apologize, but this is the first article I could find. Plus, I think Warner Brothers definitely shut them down because Shadow of Mordor Studio made the game woke. And oh my god, I don't think that's the reason, but we'll get into speculation later. Let's just get to this article. Monolith Productions is closing as part of a massive Warner Brothers game reshuffle. Why am I not surprised? Monolith Productions revealed it was making a Wonder Woman game back in 2021. Now, publisher Warner Brothers Games has announced that the project has been canned, and the studio best known for the Middle-earth Shadow of War games is being shut down, as well as part of larger cuts. The shakeup comes after 2024's Suicide Squad bombed and platform fighter Multiverses failed to make a comeback. There's a reason for that, and we'll get into that in a minute. The news, first reported by Bloomberg, was confirmed by Warner Brothers Games in a statement provided to Kotaku. Ooh! James Terry. Thanks for the follow, my friend. Greatly appreciate it. Anyway, we have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. Fine. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. Ooh, that's not good. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of teams or talents. That's cap. Yeah, they do that. That's what they do. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Yada yada yada. Blah 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 blah. All right, let's. In addition to Monolith, the publisher is also closing Players First Games, the guys that made Multiverses. Free-to-play cross-platform game. Why am I not surprised? The news comes after recent reporting from Bloomberg that plans at Warner Brothers Games were in flux after the flop of last year's Suicide Squad cost the company $200 million. Only Warner Brothers can lose that kind of money, man. Them and Mate. I don't even think Disney could get away with losing that kind of money. But anyway. In other multiplayer games struggled to find an audience. The report laid some of the blame for publishers' gaming woes on mismanagement from above and lack of direction. I 100% agree with this. Because that's usually what's the case with this. Today's closures were communicated to staff in an email from Warner Brothers Discovery head of global streaming and games, JB Perrette. I hope I'm saying that right. Parts of which were published by Polygon to regain our credibility and swagger at producing great games. Oh my god. Do you know how out of touch you gotta be to use this fucking word? He really said swagger. God damn, bro. And blamed current financial difficulties on the product market fit and quality of too many of our new releases has really missed the mark. Yeah, because you guys focus on bullshit. I'll get to that later. We need to and will do better for our fans and fans first and foremost, and also because regaining that credibility is critical to us securing even more investing in games in the years to come. Blah, 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 blah. Monolith's Wonder Woman game was rebooted last year after struggle to incorporate the studio's patented Nemesis system for evolving relationships with NPCs, yada, 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 yada. It's reportedly pitching a possible Game of Thrones, while Rocksteady back to single-player projects with the pitch of a new Batman game. This should have been the plan to begin with, but whatever. Okay. All right. Let me get into quote-unquote speculation. Glad you agree with me on the swagger thing, Blast, because the minute I saw that, I'm like, is this motherfucker serious? Using that word? Okay. Let's get into why this happened, or at least why I think this happened. I think obviously I think the mismanagement part is absolutely positively true. Yeah. I think the problem with these companies is they, again, just like every other big gaming company, they chase trends. They see one game doing very well, and then they try to emulate that. They try to replicate it in their own, in my opinion, extremely lazy and unprofessional way. And then when it doesn't work, they scrap everything and say, well, it's, we kind of missed the mark here. Yeah, no shit, you missed the mark. You tried to chase a trend. It didn't work in your favor. Matter of fact, you only made things worse. And now, because you made things worse, now you want to blame everybody else. But then again, what do I know? Yeah, so that's WB for you. It's sad to see this. And the funny thing is, I made a video about this with the whole Marvel Rivals situation. If you haven't watched that, check it out, by the way. This is unfortunately a really bad trend in the gaming industry when even if a game does really well, people still lose their jobs. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see people who put their lives and effort into these games just for them to either do well and still lose their jobs, or not do well and lose their jobs anyway. So it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And Blast just put in a comment that I'm gonna read. Bro, 200 million, man. I think the problem is they start developing a game, then they mess it up because there is no proper aim to the game. They have so much player feedback, but that never gets implemented. Then they lose money because making games costs too much. I partially agree. Yes, games are really expensive to make, but at the same time, I feel like, no, they aren't, because you're not printing them physically anymore. Because let's be real. Physical distribution is, I wouldn't say dead, but it's on its way out, whether we like it or not. And unfortunately, there's not enough protection in place for that to become for digital only future. One, the country's internet is not consistent. Two, you've got companies doing all this bullshit with licensing, saying you don't really own the game that you paid $60 or $70 for. You own a license to play the game, and we have the right to get rid of that game if we so choose. Which, again, it's like, why am I wasting money on a game if I don't even own it anyway? And then they wonder, and this is the kicker. Companies do this nonsense, and then they wonder why piracy is such a thing.
Bruh.
Make it make sense. God forbid somebody downloads a game for free rather than paying $60 for something they don't own. And then a company comes in and says, why are you doing that? Wait, I didn't know that's how digital buying works for games. So it's just a license we get. To a degree, yes. It's with certain games. Not all games do this. A lot of AAA games do it, though, which is becoming a rampant problem. And again, why piracy is, like I said, such a big thing now, because people really don't want to deal with that anymore, and rightfully so. Like, you're gonna sit here and tell me that I don't own something that I paid good hard-earned money for? The same thing with software. Look at the bullshit that Adobe's doing, where they're saying, yeah, you don't really own this software. It's like, bullshit, I don't. I paid for it. Yes, I believe that's why Napster blew up. That's why, yeah, stuff like Napster, LimeWire. I'm not going to get into all the torrenting stuff because I don't want to get people in trouble. You're right, it doesn't really... It depends. Me personally, I don't really pay for it, but it depends on which program you use. If you use like Acrobat, I've never had an issue with Acrobat. If we're talking Premiere Pro and Photoshop, yes, those always run like shit, even on a good machine. Even something like mine that I just recently finished building. Like, it's a mess. But anyway, let's get off of this topic and let's move on to something else. Now, we need to talk about Hassan Piker again. Now, our buddy Hassan, let's just say he hasn't been doing all that well. He hasn't been doing all that well. Yes, I did. Actually, no, I didn't. The one that I built last year, I think, was for somebody else. The one that I'm using now, the Black Dragon, I call it, which ironically isn't even done yet. It's not even done yet. I'm actually using it right now, but it's not completely done. I'll explain later. But anyway, back on topic. So Hassan's not been doing so well. He, first of all, platformed a Houthi pirate. He caused an adpocalypse on Twitch. I believe it's the first big adpocalypse on Twitch. He had a falling out with Ethan Klein, which, by the way, Ethan actually went out of his way to do a content nuke on Hassan. I haven't watched it. Maybe if you guys want, we can watch it during the after show, but I heard it's not bad, and I heard it's really bad. Looks really bad for Hassan. The problem, of course, Hassan being Hassan, he didn't actually watch the video, and he's like, "Oh, I could do a content nuke on Ethan." No, he can't. That man cannot do research to save his life. But anyway, his most recent controversy came a few days ago when he went on the Trash Taste podcast, which is an anime exclusive podcast, and apparently a lot of people were not happy that he was there. And I'm gonna get into his reaction to people finding out that he was on this podcast. This is from Twitter, and let's hear what he has to say.
Mr. President, the second Piker has hit the trash taste. Why would you do this, Hassan? Really? The terrorist endorser? Shame.
I love how he's not taking this seriously, by the way.
I noticed lately you guys are not up to date with the internet, but this is a whole new level of out of touch.
On that, I can agree. Is this Gaza Israel related? No. People are just mad that he was on this podcast, and they were apparently tearing them a new asshole. And now Hassan is pretty much reacting to this.
Having an openly racist person on, downvote.
I don't disagree with that comment. Hassan is kind of racist.
Do not have him again, please.
I love these
Holy
comments.
fuck.
Who are the terrorists this man support? I forgot his name, but I know he was like a pirate that got... I can't it's hard for me to explain because I don't really follow that kind of the whole Israel-Palestine stuff, but apparently he was a terrorist and he was killing people and, you know, doing the whole pirate stuff, and he equated him to a anime protagonist, one Monkey D. Luffy, which, why would you do that?
Too bad I get irritated from just seeing his face. The guy has said so many profoundly idiotic things that I honestly cannot listen to a word from him.
I don't disagree.
They are, the brigade is on, folks.
Oh, here we go.
Get in and actively counter the brigade.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Oh my god. Oh god, oh. This fucking guy.
They dislike botted the video immediately. Lol is at 2.5k dislikes.
Jesus. That's bad.
Mr. President, the
Oh god. And then that comment he made. Get in there and actively counter the hate brigade. It's like, bro, no wonder why people fucking hate you. Because you do nonsense like this. Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to make a secret of it, guys. I'm not a big fan of the guy myself. And I'm not surprised people were unhappy that Hassan was on this podcast, because I'd be pissed too. I don't like the guy either. I think he's a clown. I think, yeah, I do agree he is a racist. A lot like his... Yeah, I don't recommend watching him. He's... Not only is he boring, he's extremely irritating to watch. Like, the guy's a racist. The guy's a radical. And he's a propagandist. He's an admitted propagandist. He has admitted that he is a propagandist. Like, oh, God. It isn't... God. It's insane to me that people still support the guy. And of course, Twitch protects him because he's their golden boy. Because, let's be real, Twitch does align a lot with him. And you know what? That's part of the reason why Twitch had that adpocalypse happen. Of course, they're not going to ban the guy that's been spouting all the crazy nonsense that has gotten them into a lot of trouble and gotten a lot of brands to say, yeah, we don't want to be associated with this guy. But again, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a guy with a microphone and a computer and a Bitmoji icon that you should subscribe to. Anyway. Oh, that was terrible. I'm never doing that again. That's it for me today for this episode of The Doghouse. If you're on the live, stay tuned. We will be doing an after show. If you're on YouTube, stay tuned for the meme of the day. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Peace.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?